Satnam, welcome to Portal to Bloom. This is Rabindra.
And Myra.
Welcome to... So what we're talking about today is the one thing that is completely free for everybody at any given moment and can shift the tide. This one thing can shift everything for you every day for the rest of your life. And it will make you more magnetic. It will make you more radiant. It will make you... it will draw to you everything you ever wanted. Mm-hmm. What is this thing?
And that goes on both spectrums. Even that which you don't want, you might even attract that. So being extra mindful.
So the thing that we're talking about is, there's definitely coming from an entrepreneur culture, myself being a Capricorn, we're all about doing the work. But you might be better off just doing this one thing, which is probably equally as important as working super hard.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant had it, Prince had it, Guru Jagat had it. Mm-hmm. Most of the people we look up to or have been inspired by have this approach to life.
I mean, we're trying to get it. We've been efforting towards being that.
Mm-hmm. And this one thing that we're talking about, drum roll, everybody, is enthusiasm.
Being enthusiastic of your life, coming in full joy and excitement. And it's not saying bypassing your, the feelings that are originally there. But for us, we kind of use it in the morning, especially for the kids. They don't want to get up. They don't want to go to school. I don't want to go to school. But there's like a level of enthusiasm that we bring into the space, and they embody that because they see that we're, pushing that, and they're just just as eager.
It starts first thing in the morning. It's a choice. So we have this practice called the ABCs that we do with the kids, and the A is appreciate your breath. Appreciate, wow, I'm alive. And that's an enthusiastic perspective. Or appreciate your life. And then B is take a conscious breath.
Mm-hmm. Breathe fully from your nose
I'm alive.
to your toes.
A, I appreciate, wow, I have another day. And C is celebrate life. And so within the first 30 seconds of waking up every day, within one breath, I'm activating enthusiasm in my life.
And it's truly a gift, Some people don't wake up the next day, not to be morbid, but it's true, tomorrow may never come again. Isn't that like a Tom Cruise film?
Yeah. And you think about people that stand out in your life, people that are high frequency, and people that are on this like rocket fuel level of success and growth in their lives. Yeah. It's definitely enthusiasm. When I think of like Kobe Bryant was someone I really admired, Prince and Guru Jagat, God, rest in peace, all of these brothers and sisters, but they really brought it. Guru Jagat, every single class
was just hyped, and I was hyped.
Yeah, she brought it. She brought that level of just excitement about life, excitement about the Kundalini yoga, excitement about life, excitement about the stars, business, people, women, men, like the whole thing. Music, art, culture. She was just enthused, right? And enthused is also synonymous with in spirit. So we're in spirit when we're enthusiastic.
It's in the word.
It's right in the word. So even on the business level, if you look at some of the more successful people, they definitely have a level of enthusiasm for their work. They have a sense of self-confidence,
and they bring in that spirit. They bring in that gratitude for life. And they have a relationship to the gratitude for life, that gratitude for that organizing and delivering force. That it's this kind of it's not that they're bringing God into their life, but in many ways that enthusiasm kind of embodies that in their bodies and into the actions and the repercussions of the growth of the business.
John Coltrane, his number one song ever was a sweet love. No, the love supreme.
The love supreme.
And
So romantic.
and that was really it. You know, Prince, you see Prince when he would rock concerts, and then he would take his entire band and whoever was the crew of friends there, and they would play music for the rest of the night, every concert. You know, and that's how he really skyrocketed to the best in the world.
Would he be in that flow state of just like, you know, doing art for the sake of art, not to really get anywhere, but just for the sake of it?
Yeah, he found it. You know, he found his love supreme. You know, his love supreme was the music. And then it was bringing all the people around him in it and sharing that with them. You know, that was amazing how he did that. And then he quickly became, you know, it was rocket fuel for him.
Yeah.
That's really what kind of
gave him the inertia.
forward. And then I was just thinking about like everyday people just like us. Like we have the ability to invoke enthusiasm into everything. You know, especially like as parents with kids, you know, that's like if you wake up not enthusiastic about the day, guess what?
They're not happy about it either. They're like full on.
They just like mirror us, right?
Yeah.
Wow. And then they're just like, they have their sensitivity levels a little bit higher than us. So daddy gets a little bit upset, they get a lot upset.
Oh my God, the drama levels.
And so the little ones teach us of the magnetic power and how to attune and realign this whole enthusiastic approach to life. You know, and I think like people of color, you know, coming from a Sikh culture, coming from Mexican culture, first generation immigrants in a new country. You know, our parents didn't have time to be enthusiastic, you know, when we were young.
And they also didn't have time to be depressed.
Yeah. They were on a mission, and if we were not on it, you know.
Yeah, you got to get in line. You know.
Yeah.
So we're now setting the tone to keep the levels high and to keep kind of, you know, the soul nourished.
So here we are, you know, we're looking for this love supreme, and that love supreme of our lives, even if you haven't figured out what, like, yeah, you think of Kobe and you think of Prince and you think of Guru Jagat, they found what they love. They found what they do and how what they do impacts the world. Maybe some of us haven't quite figured it out, you know.
And that's okay.
And that's totally okay.
Yeah.
But that's the work that we want to do with you on Portal to Bloom, is kind of take you from this having your life in this gray area of actually, I'm not sure what my life is all about, to this is exactly what my life is all about, and this is exactly how I impact reality and the life and the people around us. So that's where we want to take you in this podcast and in our membership course program that we're launching very soon.
Yeah.
And
can I share a story
Yeah.
of I don't even think I even told it to you because it was just so spontaneous. But we had, by we I mean my manager of our shops here in Bali and a couple staff girls. I shared tea with the group in the shop, and we had a new employee, and she was so sweet. She just graduated in hospitality, which is a big thing here in Bali about, you know, just tourism, hospitality, hotel services, and all these things. And she was curious about working for the shop. She had heard good things about the brand. So she was trained. She's been like trained for maybe 6 weeks. And she was pretty much on board and happy-go-lucky. And she comes and she has tea with me and the girls. And we're just talking about, you know, your life's passions and your life's goals. And literally I was just, you know, because sometimes like we sit and we have 3 bowls in silence so that the truth surfaces up in terms of conversation. And what was coming up as, you know, we were listening with our whole bodies is just, you know, all the quarrels of the world and kind of our life's mission and our destiny and what brings us life and vitality and joy to wake up in the morning. And I just simply said something so simple that it was like, if you don't know what to do in your life, if you don't know what's your destiny, kind of reminisce on what brought you joy when you were 3 years old. You know, what fantasies did you play out between 3 and 7? You know, and she really took that to heart. And the next day she quit and she was like, I want to be a school teacher and work with children. I love children. And it was kind of it was proud of her. You know, she just was like
We lost a
inspired.
staff member, but
We lost a very perfect staff member.
but
But she's living her life and she's happy. And sometimes I get like little messages of her with her children that she's, you know, teaching, and she's just so happy. And she's always like, thank you for this. And it's like, oh, that's so nice, you know? So it just
And
feels good.
That's a perfect example of two people living what their dharma, their calling is, right? So in this case, Myra was living her dharma in that, you know, she wants women to be empowered. She wants an empowerment for women and people, just people in general. And in that conversation with our staff, you gave that to her. So you were living your dharma, and then here she is, this person who just graduated from something completely different, joined retail, ended up in education, like that, just because she got that aha moment of, this is why I'm here. And when you choose, and it takes you, you know.
Yeah, and then also there's that moment, there's that crossroad where the unknown kind of presents itself, you know, the fear, right? And sometimes going through that fear is an initiation into maturation. And that maturation kind of gives you this wisdom of knowing that it's going to be okay. And I'm living that fulfillment of what I'm here to uphold and to embody more.
Yeah, you know, and no matter what I'm doing, I realize that people are blooming is what I'm doing, you know, and that's why we're here on this podcast with you right now, is that we're just so enthusiastic and so excited to help people just take that one step forward, you know, and also to find that one thing that lights you up, that lights up the planet, you know, and light is a key part of enthusiasm. So within enthusiasm is quite magnetic. It's a magnetic force.
Yeah.
But within this magnetic force, the light, the fire. So Kobe had fire. Prince had light, you know, Guru Jagat had fire, light, all of it. She was amazing.
Luminosity.
So the light, this fire, where does it come from, right? It comes from our awareness. So what we are aware of, moment to moment, what we bring light to, we magnetize. We then can choose to be enthusiastic about it or not, you know?
We magnetize it, we expand it.
Yeah, you know, you think about it like you hire. Okay, if you want to hire somebody, do you want the enthusiastic person or the meh person? Right? You meet somebody at a party. You want to be friends with the person that's enthusiastic, or do you want to be friends with the meh?
The meh. No.
Right? It's magnetic to be somewhat enthusiastic, and you know what? It's maybe for some of us, it's not a natural thing.
Yeah. And it's not to say that, like, you know, you don't want to be by the meh person all the time because the meh person brings you down. But sometimes, you know, the meh person needs a little bit of enthusiasm, you know.
That's where you bring it, right?
So you kind of bring it and you just kind of, you know, sometimes people need to be picked up by their bootstraps.
So that's what we want to be. We want to be that person that gives enthusiasm to others. We want to give the energy. You know, we live in this world where it's like, you know, when you're in this fear state, everybody wants to take, you know, worry. And it's like, what's in it for me? And take. But when you're in this state of enthusiasm, abundance flows. And from this abundance of energy comes, right? And we can give others this positive thing.
Yeah, without attachment to an outcome or reciprocity or, you know, an exchange level. It's just given for the sake of continuing to give, you know, because your mission here is to create a vacuum, right? To just keep on giving so that the thing that you want to uphold more keeps on filling you. And then as you overflow as this beautiful, miraculous chalice vessel that you are, you keep, you know, it becomes this flow of energy, this chi that just moves through you.
And it's not just a normal, it's light energy, but it's also you're infusing it with a little bit of love, a little bit of compassion, a little bit of understanding.
Yes.
Whoosh.
And it doesn't have to be so gung-ho too, because the thing is, we have cycles, especially women. We're going to go back to the cycles topic just so that, it bleeds into all these topics that we've been sharing. And as women, we notice that there's a cycle, and some of us are in the cycle of being new parents, being a new mother, some of us even being single mothers. So trying to just fill that vessel. Don't worry about the external, because the more you start to fill the vessel of your children and your role as a mother in that moment that is really like holding you locked into this moment, into this experience, know that it's not forever, but it is fleeting, right? So enjoy it, be in it fully, because I look back now and I'm like, shit, I was so like eager and pumped to go teach and go to do retreats and to start my trainings and and I kind of missed a little bit of those moments. Not to say that I was fully in it while they were little, but even now I'm realizing like, what am I rushing? What am I rushing to lead these retreats? There's no pressure, right?
You said a key thing, which is basically inner radiance or inner happiness leads to outer radiance, outer happiness. You see a pregnant woman, they got that inner radiance on lock. You got a baby
Yummy.
inside you, and a pregnant woman is glowing. And the reason why they're glowing is
force.
There's an inner radiance.
Yeah.
And this inner radiance can be activated through our awareness of becoming and being enthusiastic day to day, moment to moment about life, right? And so where the practice is, where it begins, is let's be enthusiastic about the things that we're not normally enthusiastic about. So
Working out.
Do you have any of those? Okay, working out is a good one.
I just started,
Yeah, restarted.
Third day. Well, yeah, this is different. I just joined the gym again.
Yeah. We went on a hiatus and did a home practice for a while.
Yeah.
Until it faded. And now we're back at the gym, or she's at the gym.
Yeah, I'm at
My
the gym.
practice
I
is
realize
okay.
I need like a collective, container that just like inspires me.
What other things are people not normally enthusiastic about?
Taxes. Paying taxes.
Sure, yeah. Getting your financial things in order. Actually, I think generally putting things in order in your life, right? Order is a harmonizing force in nature, right?
And also being responsible for your actions. People want to blame others for, their cause and effect.
Being enthusiastic about the results that we're getting. Yeah, positive or negative. There's this one movie, I think we talked about it last time, The Monkey King.
Oh, yeah.
And he's The Monkey King on Netflix. If you haven't seen it, we, as parents, we
pre-watch it, just in
we
case
see
your kid
almost
can't handle
everything through the lens of our kids' cartoons, because they see the world through that. So The Monkey King was very enthusiastic about, going through any impossible mission. He would take it and just go for it. So enthusiastically.
So positive, so confident. And that is what radiance is about. It puts this, it's beyond the physical beauty. It's beyond, the exterior. It really becomes kind of this energetic field, this energetic vortices.
So anything we get to do today, we choose to be enthusiastic.
Yay.
Simple, magnetic rocket fuel that you can use now. It's free. Take it
and go.
and go. Take it and go. The Indian accent is here. What if in every interaction we gave love, right? What if every time you do something, you choose to feel and give love, right?
Yeah.
It's going to change things. We were just at a cafe right before we came here.
Yeah.
And it was just a split second of love that when the waiter came to drop off our stuff, we just stopped her and just said, hey, your hat looks so cool. You look nice today. And she just stopped and
she lit up.
She lit up and she just started asking so many questions. Where are you guys from?
She thought we were French at first.
Yeah, she thought she was French. I don't know about me, but
because the hat was like a little fedora situation.
And so that little moment of giving love then reflected right back to us immediately. Love, hey, what's your name? Da, da, da. And now, so every time we go back there, we're going to have someone to high five, and continue the conversation with.
And that creates an expanded community, right? I remember when we first met our production guy in India.
Yeah.
Dean, Dean Allen, and he was just this glowing, radiant, retired Hare Krishna into the fashion industry in India. And he knew everybody. He knew everybody down the little burros that were just like, like all the locals. And he knew a little bit of Sanskrit or a little bit of Hindi. And he was just like, talking small talk with the little shop merchants down the road. And that for me was inspiring. That for me was like, oh, I want to be like that, Not that I just want to be able to walk down a road and be like, hey, hi, not be hiding around whatever perceived, low vibration energy or even thought form that I hold against myself, right? Because that sometimes happens. We don't feel like we're, like we're being seen, right? So we tend to hide even more and just, and that also goes again with the cycles of where you're at, you're in the, what is it called? For women, I speak for women when I speak on this half of the conversation, but like the wounded maiden, right? We're just kind of in our rebellious traps.
Yeah. And in this practice, we let go of the psychology because there's endless healing to do. We're in Bali. Everyone comes here for healing. Every practice is happening all the time. You could do the healing work for the rest of your life every single day.
Yeah, if that's your intention. Honestly, if your intention is to come to Bali and just be on a healing path, it will show up like full on.
Yeah, but the thing that's free, and you can use it right now, is your perspective, your mindset, and how you approach everything. Like I'm talking about approach every single thing, every interaction with every person. Bring a little joy, bring a little love, and watch how everything starts to fall into place faster.
Yeah, and getting out of the 3 C traps, which are complaining, comparing, and competing.
Then you give a little love. So yeah, I think like doing the frequency work, the work that raises your frequency, will get your business 10x faster, 10x more revenue. I just know that every time she's happy, our sales are double. And she doesn't see it. She doesn't get it.
It's not wrong.
And then I'm like, this is true. So then why do you have some of these moody days? You know what I mean?
Because I'm a woman and I go through my cycles.
So then that's another conversation.
And I need to isolate and self-nourish.
I guess it's like so much easier for a man to like stay there.
But this is why union, this is why union, this is why communion is so also, it's such a gift, and I know that, the current social propaganda is the single life is the best life. Sure, but there's something to be said about how nature built us. It's to be in partnership, to be as unit, and that really helps, restore that frequency.
When she goes away to teach her women's retreats and workshops and stuff, I'm a mess. The whole house, everything's a hot mess. You know what I mean? And
meanwhile, I'm getting texts. Everything's great.
And vice versa, right? Like if I'm gone, then the structure of the whole home falls apart. And so without each other, we're hot messes. But together, it's like this what is it? That one transformer that comes together? There's this one transformer that came together, and we're like this powerful force together. So there is beauty in being in a relationship for sure that elevates not just you both, but everything in your path, all of humanity, really.
And not to digress, but just to kind of emphasize that again, because we do want to show up in the world as role models of this being possible, right? It's just, it takes a lot of effort and a lot of sacrifice and a lot of yielding, It's like, I remember when we first started dating and you were like, I'm not here to dick around. And I was like, oh, okay. And it was,
whoa.
Yeah. And it was like, for me, it was like, oh, my woman was coming through. And I was like, okay, this is what I needed to hear. I needed to get kind of slapped out of my silly malaise haze of single
California dating life.
Pollinating everywhere and going nowhere. So yeah, just to be those conduits of what is possible, because and we're pretty, we're in front of a screen, but this is all riffed, we're just riffing together. Yeah, we have a topic of of, conversation. But I mean, you see us out in the world and we're like this, a little more chaotic and neurotic because we have little ones, trying to contain the container. But for the most part, yeah.
Yeah. So radiance or frequency, enthusiasm, this is all about magnetism. And magnetism and radiance and power. There are different ways of saying kind of the same thing. In Kundalini Yoga, there's a lot of conversation of the 10 body system. In the 10 body system, there's the radiant body.
Yeah.
And just like the sun emits radiance, we emit radiance.
We project that same frequency depending on our level of receptivity and our level of healing. I mean, we're about to go into this new full moon in Virgo, and Virgo is kind of about healing. It's about kind of getting your stuff in order and not wait for the disease to show up for you to address the healing, but to really kind of get things organized and get the cleaning started.
The body gives you clues all the time. It's like that little pain here or the little, the little pimple or skin rabs, all these things that show up, they show you different things. And mostly it shows you, okay, your liver's stressed out. Can you please stop doing what you're doing and clean it, right? Yeah. Well, that's another conversation. Maybe we'll have Dr. Raphael, one of our favorite.
Oh, yeah, we should have him on the
gut
chat
biome
here.
Doctors to jump on. But yeah, so this is, again, like this inner glow, this inner healing leads to this outer glow, this outer radiance, right? So we start within. Radiance begins in the inner body as an inner experience, and then it shows up in the world as a brightening on the outside. You see it all the time. Happy people.
Yeah, they're attractive. They walk, even before they walk into the space, you automatically are turned to that direction without needing to be something attractive about them. And it's just their energetic pull.
Yeah, and so if we just continue showing up with enthusiasm, bringing our light to the positive, bringing our light to compassion, bringing our light to everyone, giving love to everyone, then we start to experience this inner radiance.
I remember for a long time when we would practice our morning sit and we would go out for breakfast, I'd get so pissed off because people would be staring at us. And I'm like, what is it? Like, why are they staring at what's on my nose? Like, what's going on? But it was just our radiance, there was nothing wrong, but because I was still in the level of not feeling fully secure, but only because I was coming out of my practice, coming out of my sadhana, coming out of the Kundalini movements, that I was able to correlate like, it was the radiant body.
Yeah, in Ayurveda, they call it the ojas. And so we can all be enthusiastic. It's a very natural thing, an easy concept to take on. What I see everyone kind of doing is they get it, and then something upsets them, triggers them, and then they go back to their old pattern, right? Yeah. And so it's looking at how can I repattern the mind so that my heart can bloom. So once you hold enough energy in your body of this joy, of this love, of compassion, there's this blooming of the heart that begins to happen. Then you become really powerful.
The problem is our inability to hold it. Yeah. So there's like this building of energy, the building of the Kundalini, and then triggers, alcohol, bad habits, eating, not sleeping, eating the wrong things, not sleeping there properly, not nourishing yourself, not giving yourself what you really need. All those things kind of deplete the energy, and then you're back to square one and starting all over again, which is okay. It's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Just keep beginning again. And the awareness of like, I got to keep up.
Yeah. And also we talked about this in our last episode, but it's like when you choose this path, a positive, enthusiastic path, then things will come up of like that are triggering you, that are upsetting you. Then it's like, I get to purify that trigger. Now I'm aware of it. I get to purify it. And it's just sheerly through our awareness of these triggers that it will dissolve. You don't need to go to some counseling. It'd be great if you have the funding and everything and time to go do that, do it. However, if it's you and you and you, then simply bring your attention to it. Simply bring your awareness, and your awareness is the light, the tejas, the fire that will help you dissolve and move forward. So all of this is about repatterning your mind in that kind of way that will elevate your life. Make sense?
Totally makes sense. I mean, just similar to the experience I had over the weekend, and then there was a moment where I felt triggered over the weekend, and then I had just wanting to have a little like discourse with a girlfriend of mine who's neutral. She doesn't really know the situation much, but she said something that really landed for me, and it was, you are triggered because you betrayed yourself. You betrayed your own boundaries by saying yes to whatever was being confronted within me. And she's like, take a moment to just heal that in you, So I went to the beach. I sat on my little rock cliff, and I just was like, forgiveness, forgive yourself, forgive yourself for double crossing your own values and your own boundaries for the sake of, deflecting conflict or for keeping the peace. Or in my case, it was just, because I am a people pleaser in many ways sometimes. So just kind of letting that go and just releasing it so it's not really charged in your body, and you can keep working on the radiance.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
So these things are going to show up, and these are the things that are keeping you stuck, right? But it's our awareness of being, I want to elevate my life. I want to bring an enthusiasm to life. And I want to feel the love in all things. And in that, we start to break this rock. And like what you just did, that's the biggest thing, is to forgive yourself. If it's rarely about the other person when you were dealing with triggers, but it's really like going back and where do I need healing in this relationship with whoever's on the outside,
because we just want to blame the other, but really it's like, oh, I betrayed myself. It was my own, lack of self-love.
Yeah. So this is like Sat Chit Ananda, like the fluctuations of the mind, right, is what we're dealing with on the day-to-day.
Constantly, yeah.
Right? And then knowing that we have a lot of repatterning to do of our minds because, this culture, this society, it's kind of silly. Like, it's not a mature culture. It's quite backwards. Everything was designed to be backwards. Our schooling system was designed to have you become a very good employee or worker for somebody. It never really taught you freedom. It never taught us about a love for nature. It never taught us about a love for a relationship. It never taught us so many things. So here we are in our elderly ages, or not as elderly, but here we are reprogramming consciously our minds.
Yeah, and it's a constant effort. It's not going to be something that's overnight. It's like continuously choosing to just not be, restricted and confined by those old structures.
So it's really like our view, the way we see life, is what keeps us stuck, right? And so we can override that through awareness. And we choose love, compassion, and enthusiasm. All of these things we know are magnetic forces that shift the power naturally in our lives. They're force. Like this girl, when she's happy, she's a force of nature.
I move things.
Happy wife, happy life. There's no joke. Like really, when she's happy, it's like 5x. And I'm just like, yo, can you see what just happened? And there's so many examples of it. And I'm just like, just do it.
Just be happy. But I'm also one to not be able to fake it. I have to really feel the happiness.
Yeah, so but we talked about this.
Move my booty, move my body.
Yeah. So we need to transform our mental patterns. We need to put light on our inner narratives.
Yeah.
So whatever inner narratives are going on about this conversation for you, bring light to it. And, there's, we're living in a very interconnected world. Technology has connected the whole planet in a way it's never been connected. Like we know intimate details of what's happening all over the world.
All over the world.
It's a gift and it's also a curse in that, like, the weight of the world is on us.
The pressure's heavy.
And can be a lot of insecurity, and there can also be a lot of overconfidence in yourself. There's a lot of people that are teachers out there that just did their teacher training, for example, in whatever, in every modality out there. And it's like, where's your experience from? For me,
where's your embodiment? Yeah. were
I've been
talking about
entrepreneur
that
over
yesterday.
20 years. I've been doing yoga over 20 years. It's a long time.
It's 30 now, by the way.
And oh my God,
You
jeez.
started at 17, remember? Yeah. Time flies when
So,
you're having a good time.
in those decades, we learned how to turn woo-woo into logic, into like actual
Science.
Science.
Yeah.
For us, this is all science.
Because it's been applied and embodied. And now we have the hypothesis and the objective and the synopsis all loaded.
So it takes a courage. There's a courage that it takes to take this path of radiance, this path of magnetism. Because you have to face those things that come up, those triggers, and bring light to them.
And they're not going to go away because some of them are layers, I mean, sorry, I'll delete that portion. They will go away, but it's not like, once you delete one, all of them are deleted, because there's layers. There's layers that live within our spinal column that fluctuate within the cerebral fluid, that sometimes there's still another iteration of that particular trigger. It could be micro or macro, and it's still like your constant ability to just keep doing the practice.
Yeah, exactly. And when it comes to radiance and magnetism, there's three major forces that we're dealing with. One is the power of life, which is your breath, your ability to bring in energy, the power of intelligence, the light, the tejas, I see what's coming up, and I'm going to bring light to it. I'm going to bring fire to my life where that needs burning. I will burn. I will bring light to it. And there's the power of love, which over time, if we can continue this thing, becomes ojas, becomes this inner vitality, becomes our radiance, truly glowing beings. You see there's a wisdom to the elderly. You ever see some of these actual elders that have wisdom, that have done the work? Man,
they're magnetic, they're beautiful, they're radiant, they're glowing, they're luminous, and also intimidating. Because you're like, they can see all of me.
Yeah, and that's where we want to go to. We want to build the ojas. We want to build this three layers of like prana, light, and ojas, right? Those three, and love, basically, and we keep building those without, maybe things come and, you have those holes, energetic holes that you're dripping energy out of.
We call them energetic leaks.
Yeah, and
chi leaks.
Yeah, and so we close those over time with the light of our awareness.
And also, too, just to say, like, cosmically, we have this beautiful cosmic advantage of what is happening above right now. We have 5 planets or 4 planets.
All the planets right now are direct.
All the planets right now are direct. And there's 4 of them particularly that are direct in Aquarius as we move into this Pisces season. And Aquarius is the awakening, right? It's the time that we're moving into right now, that we're just transitioning in. And then Pisces is just unconditional love. It's just love for the sake of love. So the Aquarius energetics are really illuminating our capacity to love and to be love and to hold that on the planet. And there's something that I love to share with Soleil, our daughter. I kind of share with her sometimes when she's having a hard time relating to other children, or just even when she watches something on a film and she, detects the bad person or however, the villain in the show. And it's always kind of going back to the idea that she is love. For us, God is love, and reminding her that some people are a manifestation of God in love, and other people are the manifestation of God afraid. And when we're afraid, we're destructive, we're greedy, we're consumers, we're insecure, we're, power hungry, right? And chronically dissatisfied, depressed, heavy. And when we can start to fluctuate the idea that we can actually cross over to the other side and remember that we are conduits of love, then almost a lot of our perception of life will start to shatter, because it's a new construct, it's a new perspective. And yeah, right now this can even be triggering for you as you hear it, because it's you know, it's a foreign concept for some of us to consider. But in actuality, the cosmic, you know, game of life is recognizing that you are a divine force, and you are here on the planet to remember that divinity in you, to remember that you are a manifestation of God, of that, you know, generating, organizing, delivering force in love. And that's what kind of this cosmic situation is reminding us. It's awakening our love, you know, our compassion. And some of us are being unlocked, like the heart is literally being unlocked as we watch the carnage that is happening on we know where side of the planet and elsewhere, right? And it's unlocking that, and it's having us question our reality. It's having us question our behavior. It's having us question, you know, even our own personal identity and how we relate to the world. And that's good. You know, it's good because we're having aha moments of new ways of being and new ways to show up and level up and re-educate and unlearn certain structures that may not hold any weight anymore, right? Because that awakening of love is big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and all of within all of that, it takes courage,
And vulnerability,
and it takes this approach that nothing is going to take me away from my inner contentment.
Yeah.
Nothing is going to shift my inner enthusiasm. You know, I remember like the last 6 months, things have been difficult, you know, for us, and not difficult, it's just been challenging. And in that challenge, there were times where I had to be quite patient because things were not flowing or moving as fast as I wanted them to. And there were great challenges. And in those challenges, I really brought it down to the moment of becoming just appreciative and grateful for what is happening right here, right now. And just having the courage and also this kind of conviction and connection with spirit to be like, yo, I know there's a way through.
There always is a way through.
And the way through is a commitment to my inner contentment. That nothing outside is going to impact my inside. And once you get to that level, then you're unstoppable.
You're unstoppable because you have this very strong, innate inner knowing. It's called your intuition.
Yeah, and that's something I've been working on myself is just, you know, being able to be content and being able to be completely in my ananda, my bliss, without some kind of external validation, without some kind of external, like, oh, we did very well this month, or we didn't do very well this month, or the markets are up or down, like I had my coffee or didn't have my coffee. All those external factors, once we, you know, this is where the maturity starts to come in your practice, is that, wow, I get to stimulate and create my own inner joy, my own inner radiance. And if you continue to nourish that place, then you're unbreakable. Like you'll have this kind of solid state of beingness, of compassion, and in Kundalini Yoga they call it radiance, right? Which encompasses all the bodies.
Yeah, it holds all the bodies because it's the 10th body.
Yeah, and so yeah, we all want to look good. We all want to feel good. We all want to be happy.
Yeah, there's G-O-D in that good.
Yeah, so our journey of our lives is to develop this radiant body, right? And it's definitely things that we'll be sharing in the Portal to Bloom membership program that we're dropping soon. It's the core of the work that we do. Magnetism, power.
We'll get more real on there. More vulnerable, more specific. It's nice to kind of be able to have a space where we as contributors to humanity feel also safe to be raw, you know, to be raw. And of course, we're going to get judged. And, you know, some of you will probably even just unconsciously put us on a pedestal and then try to knock us down. It's just part of our humanity. But we're not interested in that.
Yeah.
We're interested in meeting you eye to eye, heart to heart, and just sharing things that have really, truly worked for us and continue to work for us. And yeah, we don't always get it right. Sometimes we trip and we fall, and then we get up again and we shake ourselves off and we keep on going, because the reward is in the forward, and it's in the moment.
Everything is falling into place faster. Everything is becoming even more radiant. I am becoming more and more radiant. My frequency is elevating. Your frequency is elevating. Your frequency is elevating.
Yeah.
So all that to say is, have a good day.
Have a great day. Be enthusiastic for your life, for this one precious life. And I think we hear it quite often is, what are you going to do with this one precious life? What are you doing with this one precious life?
And if the answer was be enthusiastic, then that's a pretty good answer. I think God would let you in. He'd be like, yeah, I'll let you in. That's a good one.
I'll let you in. Yeah, you're happy. Let's go. And that's the baseline that we all want. We all want to be happy. Happy, healthy.
Radiant, magnetic.
Yeah.
Powerful. Well, hope you enjoyed this one.
We went all over. Sorry, not
you,
sorry.
We'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you so much for coming again. Rubindra.
Myra. Satnam.
Sadnam.